Now, you've probably heard the phrase, culture eats strategy for breakfast. But what does that actually mean in the real world, and why does it matter even if you run a small business where you can call the shots? Well, let me tell you a story. I was once working with a nonprofit organization that they were doing all the right things on paper. And as they were going into a major transition, they did a massive visioning process. They brought in consultants, they surveyed stakeholders, they built task forces, and they spent months crafting a beautiful 100-page report detailing how to shift the organization. Covered every angle: operations, marketing, fundraising, culture. And here's what happened. The report got printed, it got presented, it was celebrated. Everybody recognized how good this was and how it would lead to success. But then it got shelved. Why? Because the people who built the plan were exhausted at the end of building it, and they hadn't included enough other stakeholders as they were shaping it. They kind of went into a room with information and came out with a plan, but this meant by the time the report was done, they faced an uphill battle to get everybody on board with the change. The team had no energy left, and no one else felt ownership of it to take it into the next stage. Here's the core lesson. It is more work to bring people along in the process of developing a proposal for change, but it's less work to implement that afterwards. See, when people help to shape the plan, they're already invested. And when they're handed a finished plan and they're told, here, get on board, they resist, they critique, and they go back to business as usual because they don't see the value in it and they weren't included in it in the first place. Now, if you're a small business owner, you might be thinking, well, I don't need all of that cultural work. I can just decide what's going to happen and tell my team. This is true in one sense. You can enforce change by authority. You are the owner, after all, and what you say can go. But here's the question. Do you want compliance or commitment? Do you want someone to do something just because they're told to, or do you want them on board and recognizing the value of it right from the beginning? When you take the time to soften the culture to change and to help them recognize this is important, when you invite input, you recognize other people's insights, and you explain why you're doing what you're doing, you do two powerful things. First, you honor the people you hired for their brains, not just for their hands. People want to feel that their contribution matters. And second, you lower resistance before it even shows up. When people understand the change and they see how they fit into it and they're on board with why it's going to happen, they're more willing, often even excited, to help make it happen. The bottom line is this. The culture of your organization doesn't eat strategy for breakfast. It cooks dinner and it packs tomorrow's lunch too. If you really want to affect change in some way, shape, or form, everybody has to be on board. And the best way to do that is to get them on board as you create the plan. So what do you do with this? You invite people early. Don't just drop a finished plan on them, and don't just consult them a couple of times. Listen to their concerns. Really listen. Often they'll actually see blind spots you missed, and you don't have to rewrite your whole plan afterwards. Explain the why, not just the what. People rally around purpose, not just instructions. And the people that are actually doing the work will often know the best ways to make the change happen in the first place. And third, pace the rollout. Give people time to absorb, to adapt, and to build momentum. When you treat change as something you do with people, not to them, you get better results and a stronger, healthier culture. Now, next time we're going to talk about how to actually figure out what needs to change in an organization, because sometimes the problem you're trying to solve isn't the real problem at all. We'll see you there.